Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. It's another 78 Camaro video. We're gonna get that back in and play some crossmember games. Something that has come to my attention. This was originally a V6 car, and that would explain some of the things not fitting the way we expect. So we will come up with a nice solution for this crossmember. There's a way to make it better than it was. And yeah, hopefully this only goes in once, maybe twice. It's not the end of the world, but it's not fun. And we'll go from there. Alright, so I'll drop that off. And we'll pick her up a little bit, pull the moto feet, and put the fancy... Oh, geez. I gotta make sure I get the right ones, because now there's two sets. Yeah, see, this is the right ones. And those are not the right ones. Yeah, and there's quite a few different versions of these, so that's awesome. So, we will get cracking. Okay, so we got her set down, and fat guy had to slide under here, and I've just got that set across and bolted to the trans, that cross member, so we can pick the car up. Because didn't want to stress out the motor mounts hanging the tranny off of it. So you can see how the tranny isn't hanging down. So let's get her up and get a muffler stand under, and we'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so that's what I meant about. So now this is just barely touching. I just took the bolt out, in fact. And now we're going to see what's going on. Because remember, we used to think it was going to mount here. But instead, it's going to mount back in here. So there's a hole here. And there's a hole here. I sure would prefer to have two, but I gotta just see what was going on. The other thing that we noticed is the mount's just a touch wide for this. I don't know what was going on here. Something was pressed in there. So we gotta decide how we want to address that. Okay, we're starting to figure out what whoever in the past had done. Now, for starters, the engine definitely doesn't want to stay centered, which is weird because they tried. So for the moment, I've got it where I want it, so it's not wandering. And I took the one bolt they had on a side so that it's down in the lip. You can see up here, we're going to be removing some there, working with that. And once I can get this bolt lined up and happy, then, of course, we're going to have to do the second bolt. So just a little bit more work in here, but once I know what's what, then we'll start drilling. So there will be a little drilling here, unfortunately, because neither of us like the idea of only having one bolt per side. Okay, we've been working a little bit. So we made a better access to the hole that they already had here, so we can get a socket in there. And we found some cool shim stock here that we're going to use instead of trimming all that down. So we're pretty happy with that, and you'll notice that gets pretty close. I'll have to relieve it a little bit, but not yet, because the next thing I want to know now that it's kind of screwed down is I'd like to get a hole here through that and figure out where the hole over here needs to be, because that one has those little flanges on there. So let's get that sorted out. Okay. We had it up there, we've measured. This is going to be the first forward hole, so I'm going to just do a small pilot with a long bit, and we'll see what we think of that. And if that kind of falls where I expect it to, then we'll, do the big step, little step, like you see here, and then we'll deal with that side, one thing at a time. Okay, so with bolt here and over there, drill bit goes through. You guys can see her. So we're going to make that bigger. Remembering this first hole, we didn't dictate. But you can see, hopefully you guys can see, that we will be able to get nuts on those. And we've got this nice little shim. Now, the shim needs a little trimming for this side. This is the one where they drilled that weird hole. So we're pinned on that. I've got to figure out how I'm going to land a hole on that one. That should be really fun. So I've got nuts holding this side down. These holes work, they line up. You can see we're lined up here. I've got this bolt lightly in, and I've drilled through the frame with the tiny pilot, but not into that. So now that's the next thing I'm going to do is wherever I put that long drill bit, as soon as I find it, I will start drilling into this so that I know where to drill it, but I'll do that off car, but at least that'll pilot it. And with that, I think we have something that'll work. So these aren't the bolts I want, but you can see that lines up really nice on that side and on that side. Should hold it pretty good. We got a bolt in here, and I know now where I want to do my relief. We're actually supported. We're not even holding that at the moment. So, yeah. We figured out how to put a transmission cross member in. A car that had one before. It was just forward a bit. And we didn't forget. We did the bolts for the torque converter to the flex plate, 35 foot-pounds. And I think we're going to do a quick... Do we have... Well, no, we're not. You know what we don't have? There's no holes drilled for that. Okay, well, that saves that time. We don't have to bother looking for that. All right. We're pretty happy. There's an engine in. So, yeah, God, it would have been easy enough to do that one here. Normally, these are a nightmare to get at. So, you know, had to plan for that. These are -6 for the cooler lines. Yeah, I wish this was the newer kind that had that little locky thing, but it's not. I don't think we're under any real stress, and that's good. Should be plenty of room for the linkage. You know, you can see, remember, we went through and found them. I know these are so close. I mean, you could probably round it out and make it work, but they weren't. Those were. Probably some metric to SAE conversion that's super duper close. There's a lot of those, like 3/8 and 10 mil are almost the same. They're not, but they're almost are. So, yeah, we're coming along. We're making a little progress. So, oh yeah, fuel system. So, I think that's going to be all we're going to record tonight. So please like, comment, subscribe. I'll toss it over to ShopRex. But I'm feeling like we actually accomplished something. So, it's a good day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Always pay attention to what you're doing and where you can and can't fit. Sometimes you need a friend.